South African football has been gifted with coaches, but we don't have enough managers. And South African football needs managers in order to go forward. A foreign coach, Jose Riveiro, in his first season at Pirates, without having a preseason, managed to win 2 trophies and guide them back into CAF Champions League football. And it got me thinking, what is the difference between a Riveiro and a Atazwane? What is the difference between a Riveiro and a Dance Malisela? What is the difference between a Riveiro and a Fadlu? And the answer I came to is that one is a manager, the others are coaches. I'm not saying that Dance is a bad coach. You give him a team, you give him full control, you let him work with a small squad, no pressure, he does what he needs to do. He could probably save you from relegation and maybe steady your team. But give him the reins at a big club, and those are different challenges. I hear you guys speak a lot about Ivan Khoza, about Motaung, about owners that can't relinquish powers, owners that want to control everything. Riveiro won with the same Ivan Khoza. Ernst Middendorp got to the final day of the league to lose it with the same Motaung. Stuart Baxter lost one for Kaizer Chiefs. Same Motaung family. No complaints. Yet now we look at a coach like Atazwane and you say he needs time. By logic, somebody who has been at the club for years and years and years as a player and then as part of the coaching staff, you'd imagine that them stepping into the starring role, the number 1 job, would be easier because they're familiar with all of this. But we're hearing the same arguments. And I think the problem comes where you deal with more things than just coaching. As a coach of Orlando Pirates, as a coach of Kaizer Chiefs, as a coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, there's way more pressures than just what happens on the pitch. You have to manage the fans. You have to manage your owners. You have to manage expectations. You have to manage those players. And time again, when our local coaches get into those hot seats, they fail. If you look at the history of the PSL, this PSL era, there's only been a handful of South African coaches that have been successful. I can name you Pitso. I can name you Gavin Hunt. I can name you Gordon Igesund. I don't want to name too much of the Mamelodi Sundowns guys because that structure is amazing. But you can also put in Rulani, Mangoba. It's a handful. And it comes to show you when they're outside of those structures. What was Rulani at Pirates? How did he do? What was Steve Kompela at Chiefs? What did he do? What was Gavin Hunt when he got to Chiefs? And maybe now I should explain to you what I mean by coach. Gavin Hunt said one of the big struggles that he had at Kaizer Chiefs was he's coming from SuperSport. He's coming from SuperSport where he makes all the decisions. He's coming from SuperSport where his team is him, his assistant coach, his goalkeeper coach, maybe 2 other people. It's a very small team and he makes all the decisions. That's a coach. That's a coach. But now we have to manage. Now you have to come to reckon with the fact that you may not get the players that you want. You come to reckon with the fact that you have to manage all of these other 15 people. You come to a big team and realize that I'm going to have to manage egos, stars, big names on big salaries. And that's where they falter. But in come these European coaches. In come these coaches who have no experience of the local game. Stuart Baxter once said that he knew nothing about the PSL. But the principles of management he came with got him a title. Ruud Krol, double treble winning coach, also came in, no knowledge of the local game. But he's a manager. And he managed that team. They didn't need time. They didn't need extraordinary, crazy signings. They didn't need excuses. They didn't have favorites. They didn't play favorites. Found out what the best squad looks like. Played that squad. So if we are to move forward as South African football, bring these coaches up a level. Show them how to be managers. Teach them the psychology of the game. Teach them how to manage. Because it's not going to be enough to coach your way into finals of trophies. You have to win the league. To coach your way into the CAF Champions League so that you can be exposed to a bit more. But it's not going to come from coaches. So I beg of you, look at your team. Look at your coach. Look at the record your coach has. Look at the record our favorites have. And demand a bit more. And it's not to say all foreign coaches will be successful. But it seems as though the magic wand happens to lie with these guys when they go to the bigger teams. I don't know if it's a licensing issue, where the license that SAFA is giving these coaches is not up to par with these other things. But we need to create more Pitsos. When you think of Pitso, I don't think of Pitso as a great tactician. And a mark of a manager is having a team. Pitso doesn't go anywhere without his first team trainer, without his own analysts. Pitso brought in Manqoba, Rulani. That's a manager. And we need more of that high caliber manager in our South African game if we're ever going to get back to the top of Africa and the top of and into the top of world football. The HR, the psychology, the man management, the media training. Let's incorporate all these into the training of these coaches. It's the only way we can get better. Let's demand more from our guys.